And let's bring in our panel now. Executive Director, Polaris National Security, former State Department Special Advisor to Iran, Gabriel Noronha, and also Executive Director of the American Conservative, Curt. Gentlemen, welcome in.
Thanks, Bianca.
All right, so ground invasion seems imminent. We have Pentagon sources confirming that with our Logan Raddick, Yoav Gallant's comments. And yet we have Joe Biden within the past hour. I'll start with you, Gabriel. He's asked about the situation in the Middle East, and he goes back to saying, I know more than you know, and we want a ceasefire. Some answer there is he just tried to exit very quickly to avoid this.
Look, this is the completely wrong approach to take. We have seen in the last 10 days an example of what victory looks like, of overwhelming ability to destroy terror groups that have killed hundreds and hundreds of Americans, to have the ability to reshape one of the most devastated countries that has been oppressed by the Hezbollah. This is one of the most transformational 10 days I've seen in the Middle East in the last 10 years. And so President Biden should be taking the opposite approach. This should be an opportunity to reshape what Lebanon could look like and to stand strongly with our allies. We don't need de-escalation. We are winning, and we should support Israel in this effort.
Jared Kushner, of course, very involved with the Abraham Accords, also echoed that sentiment, talking about the, taking out Hassan Nasrallah. And Curt, we have not just Nasrallah. I mean, we have a graphic here of all the Hezbollah leaders, as to Gabriel's point, the winning that they have taken out in just the past 12 days. Now, the U.S. and Israel, according to the Pentagon within the past few minutes, said they're still talking about the best way forward. Seems like Israel's way forward is working.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, the decimation of Israel's enemies is the sight to behold. It's obviously something that the hardliners in Israel have been licking their chops to get done for a generation, if not more. I would only notice sound a note of caution. We're still less than a year from the anniversary of October 7th, when the capabilities of Israel's enemies were actually underrated. The Hamas attack surprised Israel's intelligence capabilities. Clearly, it succeeded. And I think, these countries are going to remain. Palestine will remain. Iran will remain. Lebanon will remain. And there's always, in the Middle East, is just a constant lesson of blowback. You can mow the lawn, so to speak, or trim the grass, and oftentimes the weeds come back a lot more gnarly and dangerous than ever before. And so, when the United States is looking to underwrite its partners here, I think they need to proceed very carefully.
I think that's to what Gabriel's point is, that the vacuum of leadership in the West just does not show that, that there is a force here to contend with. It's mixed messages every which way. Just want to get your reaction, Gabriel. Yemen's Houthis now say they'll escalate military responses in response to Israel's attacks. So you have Hezbollah vowing to continue on despite the loss of Nasrallah. You have the Houthis, which control those very key shipping lanes in the Red Sea. And we know that they've been able to really cripple shipping lanes, and that's part of it. It's economic warfare as well that they seem to have executed and been pretty successful with.
So what we were promised by the Axis of Resistance, the whole Iran umbrella group, was that all the Axis would mobilize against Israel right after October 7th. The Houthis are really the only ones that have actually kind of kept their promise. They don't have a lot of capabilities, but they have exercised far greater ability to impose costs on not just Israel, but the West as a whole through their targeting of all these ships in the Red Sea. Interestingly, when the Houthis sent one missile to Israel, which was shot down, Israel responded with about 20 missiles, devastating all the oil storage at the port of Hodeidah, which is the Houthis' main logistics hub. So after this, the Houthis are actually going to be on their back feet. They're going to have to recalibrate. And my hope is that they're actually going to have to take a long time before they're able to mount any kind of concerted response. That, I think, is sort of the lesson of what Israel's escalation, shall we call it, is really valuable, of putting their enemies on the defensive constantly and making them react rather than the other way around.
Well, appreciate both of your analysis today. Obviously, this story is quickly developing, and we'll see which way and twists and turns it takes in the next few hours, especially with that imminent ground invasion into southern Lebanon. Gabriel Noronha, Curt, thank you both.
Thanks, Bianca.